Hey Matt, can you hear me okay? I just want to make sure everything looks good and sounds good.
Yes, I can. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. So like I said, my name is Matt Craven. I'm the Director of Outreach here at ECU's College of Health and Human Performance. Today we have a lot to go over. I know it's a lot of time of your day, so we really appreciate you joining. We've found that a lot of our majors here in the college are kind of what we call discovery majors. So students may not necessarily know about them as they begin their college journey, whatever it may look like. So we wanted to provide an opportunity for you all to learn more about our college so you can share with your students, so you can ultimately help direct them on the best path for them. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I am going to turn it over to our Director of Academic Advising, Ms. Kelly Deal. She's awesome. She oversees all of our academic advisors, and so she can talk all about our majors. And I will be monitoring the chat as well. So please, if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and we can answer them as they come up. So thank you.
Hi everyone. Like Max said, my name is Kelly Dill. I am the Director of Advising for the College of Health and Human Performance. And first off, just thank you for taking the time. I want to reiterate what Max said for being with us today. I already see some familiar faces and names from the Pirates in Your Town event, so it's good to see you all again. And we just really wanted to connect with you all, like Max said, to go over our majors, to go over some of our programs. If you have any questions in general about ECU or about the university, please again drop things in the chat. We'll have a Q&A at the end of the slide, and we'll go over our agenda as well. So do you need me to share my screen, Matt? Oh, okay. Okay. I have the PowerPoint up to effect. Let's see. Oh. Can you see that? Thumbs up. Okay, perfect. And I can't really see what you guys are seeing, so I'm sorry for that. So here at the College of Health and Human Performance, like we really pride ourselves on success both in and out of the classroom. So as we're going over these majors today, you'll see that we do incorporate a lot of hands-on activities, a lot of research with our undergraduate students. So we did a survey recently, and our students described their professors and instructors as knowledgeable, caring, passionate, approachable, encouraging, compassionate, and helpful. And that's what we really want to try to, or what we strive and what our kind of motto is here at HHP, is a culture of care. You're going to get that hands-on approach in and out of the classroom. Over 92% of our students expressed that they are happy in their HHP degree and would likely recommend this degree to their friends. And so we believe that this joy found in HHP stems from, again, smaller and interactive classrooms that really focus on building relationships with students, the hands-on experience with internship and practicums, research opportunities, faculty-led summer study abroad, and just different organizations within HHP as well. So what we have here for our agenda today, obviously we've done our welcome. What we're going to do now is have a brief overview of each of our majors. It is a lot. We are a bigger college. At ECU, we have 15 different majors and even more concentrations. So we're going to briefly hit on each of those, go over different careers, the competitiveness. We're trying to tailor it to the survey that we sent out to you guys about what you want to hear from ECU. Then we're going to have at 10 o'clock our Air Force and Army ROTC lieutenant colonels are going to be on to talk about their programs. So that's one of our non-academic programs that both of them are part of the college. And then we'll discuss study abroad, research and internship opportunities, general questions that we get about admissions and transfers. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A. And we'll also give you a chance to ask questions of our students. We have student ambassadors from each majors, so they can kind of tell you a little bit about their experience, why they chose ECU, and also probably answer questions that you yourselves get from students as well. So again, at ECU, we are part of the College of Health and Human Performance. It's like an umbrella. So within the College of Health and Human Performance, we have 6 different departments, and within those departments are where our majors and academic programs are housed. So you can kind of see how they're divided up. I'm going to go ahead and move to the next screen as well, because this is taking our majors and putting them in a category. So you may hear from students, well, I really want to help people. I really want to, serve others. But what does that look like as a major if they're not specifically interested in something specific like a nursing or like engineering? Well, if they want to serve others, they should look at, possibly doing social work or recreational therapy or one of our human development and family science majors. If they're interested in education, but they may not want to, do specifically elementary ed, or they want to work with really young children, we have some education majors in our degree. If they want to work in the health field, but again, they're not sure they want to do a clinical degree, or they're not sure they want to commit to school for that long. We have degrees that our students work in the hospital, but may not be doctors or nurses. We also have design and sport recreation. So those are really fun degrees that we're going to discuss today as well. Okay, so the first major that I am going to talk about is our BS in Public Health. So the BS in Public Health is all about the science of protecting and improving the health of people, the communities where they live, where they work, where they play, where they learn. So our public health students really strive to promote healthy lifestyles, research disease, injury prevention, detecting, preventing, and responding to infectious diseases as well. And so our public health program actually has 3 different concentrations to choose from. And so a student may say, well, I'm interested in the health field. I may want to be a doctor. I may want to be a physical therapist. I may want to be pharmacy. I'm not sure yet. Or I don't even know if I want to do that, but I do want to work in the health field. This is a great degree because, again, we have these 3 concentrations that I'm going to go over really quickly. The first is the pre-health professions concentration. And so this degree or this concentration is specifically preparing students who want to go on and go to med school or dental school or PA school, any of those professional type programs. It allows you the flexibility to get all of the sciences you need. So when you hear students say, I want to be pre-med or I want to be, pre-PA, they can major in anything. They just have to get the prerequisites they need in that undergraduate major in order to apply to those programs once they graduate. So public health is one of those, we hear biology, chemistry. Public health is a really good alternative to that for if students do not want to do straight science majors. So again, the pre-health professions, it allows you the flexibility to get all of those science courses you need for your professional program of choice. So anatomy and physiology, your gen chem sciences, your physics, your organic chemistries, whatever it may be. But then it also allows you to take some of those soft skill classes that you may need as a doctor or a dentist. So intro to patient education, health disparities, epidemiology, those types of things as well. The community health concentration is more so prepare students to become health educators in their community. So if a student comes to us, they're pre-health professions, and they decide, dental school, med school, that might not be the route for me, but I'm really liking public health, or I'm really liking this health route and I want to be in the health field, we can easily transition them to one of the other concentrations. So again, the community health concentration prepares students to assist individuals and communities as they strive for improved health. They work as vital members of the community and the healthcare teams to promote and protect the health of the people in the communities where they live. Live, learn, work, and play. So a lot of the students who do the community health concentration, they will find employment in hospitals, local health departments, even federal health departments or federal health programs like the Center for Disease Control, World Health Organization, any community-based health organizations like diabetes prevention or health fairs, heart disease management, those types of things. So our students also in the community health concentration did a lot during COVID with contact tracing. So they helped assist contact tracing, contacting students, trying to work back when a student reported COVID or that they tested positive for COVID to see, trace back where it came from to make sure other people were aware as well. They also may work in substance abuse agencies, STI prevention programs, pregnancy prevention and wellness programs, and other community initiatives as well. And then the worksite health promotion is similar to community health, but these courses are going to focus more on public health within the private and business sector. So students are prepared to conduct different health screenings. They learn about insurance and HMO policies and patient education. And employers like ECU or Google or Amazon, any type of private organization or public organization will hire people to do these health screenings and to do these health education programs in order for their employees to be healthier, to help reduce insurance and HMO costs. So that's where the worksite health promotion comes in. We get asked a lot about competitiveness of our programs. Any of these three concentrations, they're not competitive. So students do not have to do an application to get into these programs. What happens is they'll come in as intended public health. They'll work with an advisor, they'll go ahead and start working with faculty, and then they have to meet certain GPA requirements and certain course requirements in order to declare in the major. So the pre-health professions concentration, you have to have a 3.0 GPA and then a B or higher in your intro biology courses and your intro chemistry courses, 4 of those. If you get a B or higher and have a 3.0, then you go ahead and declare in the major. Community health, you just have to have a 2.75 to declare, and the worksite health promotion, you just have to have a 2.50 to declare. So again, these majors are not competitive in the sense you have to submit a separate application from ECU to get into these programs. So some sample courses that our students will take. Women's health across the lifespan, we actually have a PEP squad that focuses on the wellness of women from prenatal to birth and after birth. You'll learn about global health. You take epidemiology, which is very relevant and very current now, especially with COVID, because that's all about how you calculate a pandemic or an epidemic back to patient zero. Community strategies, you talk about programming, how to set up special events as in regards to health, wellness assessment and disease management, health behaviors. So a slew of classes. The 2 concentrations, community health and worksite health promotion, they specifically require an internship. So during your last semester as a student, you're taking 1 class. It's a full-time 12 credit hour class, and you're doing an internship in a public health setting, whether that be a local health department, a hospital. We have had students who have interned at the CDC or World Health Organization or in Washington, D.C. And that is like a full-time job your last semester where you're working under a public health professional, you're networking, you're learning the trade of what you're interested in career-wise to hopefully market you better for when you do graduate, to help promote jobs and your career afterwards. So if you hear, students, these are some buzzwords that we think of that you may want to recommend public health. Um, when a student says they're interested in, maybe health advocacy or maybe organizing events in a health related manner for health programming, or if they want to go to med school or dental school or PA school, disease management and education, this is a great major for those students at ECU. We also have undergraduate research that I wanted to highlight really quickly. And this is really unique because when you hear of students working with faculty and doing research and taking classes for research, you think of graduate programs. But our undergraduate students can take classes for credit that apply to their major, and work with a faculty member doing undergraduate research, which is really neat. So we've had students who have done one student did a type 2 diabetes pilot intervention program, and they were trying to look at increasing physical activity through leisure and physical activity to help these students. And, they got them Fitbits, they worked with them with a faculty member, they monitored their progress, they met with them and interviewed them, and just kind of looked at different barriers to that progress as well, whether it be, motivation, self-efficacy, it could be your job is preventing you from working out. We had another student who did a research project on the social media content. We all know our high school students are huge into social media, whether it be TikTok or Facebook or, Instagram. So she looked at social media content analysis of COPD Facebook groups. So what were they saying? She collected and analyzed data of the information that was being shared on these Facebook groups that were created, and kind of took a look at that. We also have labs that our students can work in as well when they get to ECU, and there's some really cool labs I'll go over real quick. There's the Health Behavior and Tobacco Research Lab where they study substance abuse, how vaping and cigarettes and those types of things. They aim to do research to help shape prevention and policy efforts to improve community health in regards to tobacco research. So we also have a rural health disparities lab that focuses on reducing cancer health disparities in the community, especially in Eastern North Carolina. So they look at social detriments of health and health disparities, whether it's racial, ethnic minorities, the medically underserved populations. They also study other things like HPV vaccinations, vaccine confidence, their access to care. We have a public health genomics lab that looks at educational intervention regarding autism, genetic testing among parents. So we have some really cool things within public health. And if you have any questions specifically to public health, feel free to put them in the chat. And then back, of course, if you have anything to add, hop on as well. The next major I'm going to discuss is also in the Health Education and Promotion Department, and this is our BS in Environmental Health. This is one of our smaller degrees, but I think it's a really cool degree. I mean, I kind of want to go back and get my degree in environmental health. But this is a branch of public health that is concerned with all aspects of how our natural and built environment affect human health. So they're ensuring safety in what people eat and drink. This also includes foodborne, waterborne, vector-borne diseases, as well as environmental factors that influence health outcomes, including birth defects, cancer, whatever it may be. So students have to have a 2.0 GPA and a 2.0 science GPA in the intro courses for this. So environmental health science, it is science-based because you are learning how to take samples, whether it be from water or whether it be from maybe occupation. We have a lot of different labs. One of my favorite labs that we actually have at ECU on campus that our students can work in is our mosquito lab, or that's what I call it. It's a vector-borne disease lab. And so students are, breeding mosquitoes, they're catching mosquitoes, and then they're, studying their blood for diseases and things like that from the community. I think they actually go and set traps during hurricanes to collect as many as possible. We also have a nanotechnology lab and an occupational health lab and our wastewater management lab as well. So these are simple courses that you'll take with environmental health. Again, environmental health management and law, especially if you're wanting to work in policy or influence environmental health factors through public policy and laws and things like that. Anytime you see and lab with these classes, the students are getting that hands-on experience again in a lab. So we actually had students in the water and wastewater management lab going and taking water samples each semester. During COVID, they actually tested water from the dorms for COVID to see if it was, how it was traveling, how it was. They look at air pollution, industrial hygiene. So if you go into a restaurant or a business and you see their little spore, that's environmental health. We also have an occupational safety lab that looks at like different environmental factors and how they influence workers, whether it be farmers and the sun and the heat and outdoors, or maybe you work in an industrial place of employment and how the chemicals are affecting you and if those are causing diseases. So that is all environmental health. And again, I think it's an awesome degree. If you're looking for specific careers to share with your students about environmental health, obviously there's environmental health specialists, occupational health and safety professionals, so working in OSHA, industrial hygienist, counterterrorism specialist, water and wastewater management specialist, those types of jobs. And again, this does have a built-in internship with it as well. It's not a full internship like it is with public health, but it's more of a field experience. So students are taking classes while they're doing their internship. The next few majors I'm going to talk about it as a department. So we have our second department is the Department of Human Development and Family Science. So if you're interested in working with children and families, or you hear students who are, I really love kids, I really love, children, but I'm not sure I want to work in like a school setting. Some of these degrees are going to be perfect for them. So the first degree is the Birth through Kindergarten Teacher Education. This is a North Carolina teaching licensure degree, education preparation program. It's a 4-year degree in child development to work with children ages 0 through 5. So infants, toddlers, pre-K, kindergarten. There is an adaptive curriculum with it. So you learn to work with students or kids who have disabilities and all abilities as well, and also their family members. So students can expect positions or careers in pre-K classrooms, child development centers, daycare centers, early childhood program administrator, child care licensing regulator, or an educational instructional coach. One of the cool things we have at ECU is we do have our own child development center on campus in the buildings for students to do research on. It's the Nancy Darden Child Development Center. It's a full functioning daycare for all the way up to pre-K. And we have observational labs. So students can go into those observational labs, kind of observe the children's behavior, and then go and learn about why they're doing this. How is this developmentally appropriate for this child's age, how it's not, and what are the next steps to take. So learning hands-on experience working with children. We also have a BS in Child Life degree. This is a licensure degree also, but not an education licensure. This is specifically to become a CLS, Child Life Specialist licensure. So they provide evidence-based, developmentally appropriate interventions for children who, excuse me, may be in the hospital or undergoing treatment or have to undergo a surgery. So they do a lot of play therapy in the hospital with those children to help prepare them and reduce their fear and anxiety, and also pain for children and adolescents. Because if you think about a child going into the hospital, that could be a very overwhelming experience for them. So that's where child life specialists come in. They also do bereavement. They take a bereavement class, so it can be a little heavy because they're also going to be working with siblings, so younger children. If they have a sibling who's in palliative care or at end of life, they may work with that child in the bereavement process as well, doing therapy as well. So both of those degrees are competitive. So the BK, birth through kindergarten teacher education, you come in as an intended birth through kindergarten major, but you do have to apply to the program. You also have to meet the College of Education's upper division requirements because it is a licensure degree. And then the child life is competitive. There's a whole separate application process for that. You have to have a 3.0 GPA and a B or higher. That is a competitive program. The next degree I want to talk about, I'm going to skip down to the last one, is the BS in Family and Consumer Sciences degree. This is also an education licensure degree, and this prepares students to teach in NC grades 7 through 12, so middle and high school, in career and technical education programs and in the Family and Consumer Sciences area. So they learn the concepts, careers, technical vocation skills across a broad range, whether it be foods, nutrition, culinary arts, parenting, human development, child development, early childhood education, apparel and housing, interior design, consumer resource management, family planning, those types of degrees or those types of teaching. Again, you have to meet upper division. There's an application process with that as well. There is a severe shortage of FACS teachers, as you may well know, in North Carolina. So our students are getting jobs with this degree right out of the gate. So it really does help prepare students for those types of degree or careers. Both the birth through kindergarten education degree and the family and consumer sciences education degree are offered face-to-face, or they can also be offered online. All of our degrees that you're going to hear about today are face-to-face. Only those two also have an online component as well. The last degree within the Human Development and Family Science major is the Family and Community Services degree. So this is a great major for students who want to work with children and families. It allows you the flexibility to personalize the degree to fit your individual career goals with a minor, or we also have students who are interested in occupational therapy who will do this degree as well. There's two concentrations, the family science concentration or the child development concentration. Careers in this degree include a family life educator, family advocacy, working in adoption agencies, working for nonprofits, federal, state, or local governments. A lot of our students also go on to our marriage and family therapy degree, or they'll do occupational therapy as well. Sample courses. We discussed individual, family, and romantic relationships. You're going to take child development courses, children's behavior courses, learning about families and cultural diversities, play in the lives of children in the hospitalized child. We have, I mentioned the Nancy Darden Child Development Center. We also have a family therapy clinic as well. We do a lot of work with the Department of Pediatrics here at ECU Health and Birdie School of Medicine. And then we also have Camp Whole Heart, which is a camp designed for children who have heart conditions. And we do a lot of educational and recreational activities with them to help promote their self-esteem, skill-based learning, social interactions with peers, and just have fun. So they do hay rides, canoeing, archery, talent shows, those types of things as well. Okay, so the next department we're going to go into is the Department of Kinesiology. This has become a really popular option in the past few years. So you may hear other schools or students call it, I'm interested in kinesiology or exercise and sports science. So we have the Department of Kinesiology, and we have 4 different majors. The BS in exercise physiology, a BS in health fitness specialist, a BS in sports studies, and a BS in physical education. So first I'm going to talk about the BS in exercise physiology. This is our most popular degree, probably within our college, I would say. And so I think I'm missing a slide, so I apologize for that. But exercise physiology is all about the movement of the body, how the body's response to um, the body's response and ability to adapt to physical activity. So we have two concentrations. We have a exercise as medicine concentration and a clinical exercise physiology concentration. The exercise in medicine in this degree mainly helps prepare students who want to go to a professional program, specifically physical therapy, but we also have students who are interested in, I would say, sports medicine. So they may want to be a doctor for an athletic team or an athletic trainer, or they may want to be a PA. So students interested in physical therapy, medical, dental school, athletic training programs would do the BS in exercise physiology, exercise as medicine degree. The clinical exercise physiology major or concentration is designed to help students who want to go maybe straight into the workforce, who decide maybe they don't want to go the extra schooling or physical therapy isn't for them. So they go into positions like clinical exercise physiologist, wellness coordinator research, cardiac rehabilitation and wellness centers will hire exercise physiology as well, or cardiopulmonary and diabetic research. So the clinical exercise physiologist is somebody who works with patients who have chronic health issues and they supervise their physical activity. So learning to do stress tests. They're responsible for testing, tracking the interpretation of that data as well. You can see we have labs, we have fitness labs, we have other labs that Mac's going to tell you about in a little bit, including our biomechanics lab, where we show students how we track that information and how you're actually seeing how the body moves. I'm going to get to the sample courses in a minute, but I'm going to talk about the BS and Health Fitness Specialist because these degrees are similar and there is a lot of overlap. I kind of describe exercise physiology as like the science behind exercise and movement. That exercise as medicine concentration gets you all the sciences you need for a physical therapy program, the chemistries, the physics, the anatomy and physiologies. And so the BS and Health Fitness Specialist is similar, but it's a more hands-on approach rather than the science approach. So this degree provides students the knowledge, skills, and abilities to develop and conduct health and fitness programs, whether it be in commercial, corporate, public, private settings, personal training, athletic training. So if you have a student who wants to do athletic training, this is a great degree as well. There is no, when you have students who say physical therapy, athletic training, med school, there is no one route that you should definitely take to get in. I encourage students to do something they're going to be interested in as an undergraduate major because that's going to allow you to perform well and really be interested in what you're learning to help you get into those programs. This degree is also endorsed by the National Strength and Conditioning Association. So if you have students who want to work in the fitness world, who maybe want to own their own fitness gym or do personal training, or maybe be a strength and conditioning coach for a high school athletics team or college athletics or professional athletics team, this is a great degree for them as well. Some sample jobs that we have had for students in the past is a performance coach at Google. We had our first hire at Google from one of our alums a few years ago, which is really cool. So she does a lot of group fitness activities or group fitness courses for the Google employees there on site. Assistant performance coach. We have somebody who's an assistant performance coach at Eastern Michigan University, director of wellness. We have group fitness instructors at training and wellness centers. And like I said, performance coaches and strength and conditioning coaches at different universities and professional teams, and also athletic performance coaches as well with this degree. So I mentioned there's a lot of, these are some sample courses. And again, there's overlap between exercise physiology and the health fitness specialist degree. You'll take physiology of exercise in labs, exercise evaluation and prescription, resistance training, ECG interpretation and testing, fitness education, physical activity and aging, biomechanics, those types of things. Our next degree that we're going to talk about is the BS in Sports Studies. This is for students who are interested in working in sports and athletics, but maybe don't want to do the medical side of it. So what our degree does is allows you to study sports in nearly every aspect you can think of. So from sociology to management to psychology, it's going to help you learn how to integrate all of these different ways that sports interact in our cultures and put that into practice. And it offers a broad view of sports as well. So some of the sample courses in this degree that students take are sport analytics, applied sports psychology, coaching theory, sport for development, program development, sport and fitness marketing. This particular degree does require a minor. So the minor kind of helps round out what you want to do career-wise. So if you want to go into, coaching, you might want to do a minor in leadership studies. If you want to go into sport management and marketing, you could do a minor in business. If you wanted to be a sports psychologist, you can minor in psychology. So we leave it open to students. We also have students who want to go into sport journalism. So we have the communication minor as well. Careers in this degree, again, sport management, sport marketing, a representative, team representative, sport agent and representative. We hear a lot of students who want to be sport agent and representatives, and that is more, you have to have a law degree in order to practice as a sport agent. So you could do a minor in political science with this degree if you wanted to. All of those 3 degrees that I just talked about, not competitive, which is nice. There's no separate application process. You come in as that intended major, and you have to meet certain GPA and degree requirements once you're here in order to declare in the major. So exercise physiology is a 2.75 and a C or higher in certain math and science courses. And then the health fitness specialist is a 2.0 GPA, but you do have to pass a fitness test, our major's fitness test for that. And then sports studies is a 2.0 GPA as well. Recent graduates and careers with this degree, we've had students who, one of our students is the assistant general manager for the Wilson Tops baseball team. We have somebody who's done membership sales, account executive, ticket sales, season ticket sales representative for the Charlotte Hornets, recreation coordinators in different recreation departments in different counties. So again, it's a broad range. Did I do sample courses? I did. So I wanted to kind of highlight our special topics really quickly under kinesiology. So this is where you learn stuff that's not normally in our curriculum. So for example, we have a sports law class that we've offered before. Next semester, we're offering a Super Bowl class. It's a sport event management specific Super Bowl class, and those students are actually going to be able to travel to the Super Bowl, I think, a week prior, and learn about the management and marketing and event management in different areas at the Super Bowl as it leads up to the event, and then obviously get to help out and participate in the game. So again, just that hands-on experience, and these again are undergraduate students, mostly juniors and seniors, I think, that are able to get this really cool, neat opportunity that we hope to continue in the future with that partnership. And Mac's going as well, so you'll be able to hear all about that trip if you want to come on campus next semester and join us for our in-person event. The last degree within the Department of Kinesiology is the BS in Physical Education. This is another teaching licensure degree, and it is competitive because, again, you have to meet those upper division requirements that are required by North Carolina teaching licensure and education requirements. So this is a preparatory degree for a professional educator license in physical education that prepares students to become physical educations in health and exercise to teach, motor skills, movement concepts, health-related fitness concepts. We combine rigorous academic coursework, but also carefully designed clinical experiences for students. So there's a 15-week internship placement within the 36 school districts. There's also students will receive a 4-year degree in an NC teaching licensure in health and physical education as well. If you have students who are interested in athletic training, this is another great degree for athletic training. We can get you all of the prerequisites you need to apply to a master's in athletic training program. But when you graduate with athletic training, is if you can't get a job, say at like a college level team or a professional level team, or you just want to work in high school athletics, a lot of times to be an athletic trainer at that level, they require a teaching licensure degree. So that's why this degree is great for athletic training as well. Okay, so I am going to completely switch gears from Department of Kinesiology. So you can see how vast and how wide our college is in regards to majors. So the next department I'm going to talk about is our Department of Interior Design and Fashion Merchandising. I actually currently advise for these degrees and for these students. So they're really, really neat hands-on degrees. So the full title of the fashion merchandising degree is a BS in Fashion Merchandising and Consumer Studies. So this covers all aspects of the fashion industry. So you learn to work with designers, you learn how to plan, develop, and execute a product line to satisfy the needs of the target company. You'll do there is a minor that's required with this degree, similar to sports studies, set to kind of round out what you want to do career-wise. So if you want to own your own business, say you want to own your own boutique, you're going to learn how to shop and buy for that boutique, and what kind of market your target customer is going to be. So you may want to do the entrepreneurship certificate or a minor in business. We have students who are interested in fashion journalism, so they could do communication. If you're interested in visual merchandising, you may want to do the art minor. We also have students. I have one student, she's interested in doing wedding dresses. So having a wedding dress boutique, and she's doing the minor in hospitality management to she wants to work with hotels to kind of bring all that together and kind of have a one-stop shop for brides. We also have the professional selling certificate if you're interested in buying and selling for a designer. So our students have a myriad of careers. It's fast-paced. It's an exciting field. This is just kind of a list of what our students are doing. So retail buying, stylist, fashion apparel, fashion management, a visual merchandiser, retail strategy, trend forecaster, fashion blogger. Again, we have you'll take a lot of different classes. We have economics classes to cover the business area. We have a Google Analytics class because, as you know, e-tail is very big now with businesses. So you'll get certifications within that class to learn about Google Analytics, how to do retail online, which is a big, big thing. This degree also requires 2 internships. So there's a retail internship and a management internship. We have a great partnership with the National Retail Federation that helps students get internships and then go on. And I have a slide where our graduates are currently employed at as well. But we have had students who have interned in New York and California. We'll also do a study abroad this summer in Italy and Portugal and Spain, and that'll count as an internship as well for students. So some of the careers our students have gotten, this is actually one of our alums. This is Mr. Daniel Spellman. He goes by Dan P. Lee. You can follow him on Instagram. He's a celebrity stylist, and he actually styled Megan Rapinoe for her Sports Illustrated Sports Person of the Year cover. I think a few years ago he styled Joel Embiid for the ESPYs. He recently, I followed him on Instagram, so he recently styled Issa Rae and some of this cast from Insecure for their Entertainment Weekly cover shoot. We also have someone who is a visual merchandiser for Gucci for the whole eastern part of the United States. And so what she does is when there's a new store that's open, she goes and she oversees the visualization of that, the windows. In Charlotte, they just opened a Gucci apparel store, accessory store, sorry. And she oversaw that in Charlotte, did the windows for that to draw people in. So these are the types of things that you're going to be learning in the fashion merchandising degree. We also have this degree also changes with the curriculum. So the curriculum is always changing because we're trying to adapt to where the country is going and where those careers are going. So we actually have a board that we meet with once a semester, and we're like, okay, what do we need to teach students in these degrees? You know, where's it going? And so that's where the Google Analytics class came in, because again, selling online has become really big, especially during COVID. So we have an annual fashion show that our students put on through the AMO organization. And we also have a reuse closet that we're doing to help students, style and get professional clothing they need going out. So again, some of the places our students have internships at and gotten jobs at, Kohl's. We have somebody who's working at Kohl's in New York. We have students who have interned at Oprah's Magazine, Jessica Simpson, J. Crew, Pier 1, Crate and Barrel, those types of areas. So interior design, this is a really unique degree as well. It is very technical. So when I say interior design, I'm not talking about interior decorating, although it does kind of incorporate a little bit of that. So interior designers learn to work with contractors, architects, engineers, furniture dealers, and business and homeowners. So again, in this degree, it's very technical. Students will learn to design living spaces, shopping spaces, spaces for fun, leisure, and entertainment. It is very technical. So students, by the time they graduate, will be able to take the shell of a building and completely furnish it. And when I say furnish it, I include electrical, HVAC, kitchen and bath, plumbing, lighting codes. You use a lot of software and computer generated models. So you're going to learn CAD, Revit, Photoshop, SketchUp. This particular degree is competitive. The fashion merchandising degree is not competitive. You just have to meet GPA requirements. But this degree, your first year, you're taking intro interior design courses, and you're building what we call a portfolio. At the end of that first year, if you have a 2.5 GPA, you can submit that portfolio for review. And then if your portfolio is accepted, then you move on into the major and the upper level courses. So we actually were at one of the classes yesterday, and the students were showing us their final project for the class that they're going to submit with their portfolio. So what they did was they took an old tobacco barn from Eastern North Carolina, and they had a client that somebody was wanting to add onto their house, and they wanted a specific room. So the students got a specific word. It was carouse or record or inspiration. And they had to take that word and design a living space for it. So it was really cool to see some of those and the student stories and the inspiration behind it. This is an accredited program, so we're accredited by CETA and NASAD, also the National Kitchen and Bath Association. So students are going to learn about residential design, commercial design, and mixed use design as well. And this specifically prepares you to be an interior designer. There is an optional internship with this if you would like to take it, but it's not a required internship. And again, we have fall and spring only classes. So if you have a student, I would say, who's interested in interior design, but they want to go to a community college first and then transfer in, that's fine. But let them know that typically this is a minimum 3-year program, even for our early college students who come in with 60 hours as a freshman. It's going to be a minimum 3-year program just because of the rigor. It's a smaller program, so we can specifically work one-on-one with students and make sure we're developing their skills. And again, you're building your portfolio throughout. You're going to build your own website to help market yourself to other majors. I think if we have a student on here from there, she can talk a little bit about that later. So again, we have students who are interior designers in residential, kitchen, bath, showroom staging, commercial, where they do retail, healthcare, hospitality businesses, and then also mixed reuse, urban revitalization, and adaptive reuse. A minor is not required with this degree, but we have electives. So students can certainly easily earn a minor with this. They wanted to do like construction management as a minor or architectural design as a minor. Those usually work really well with this degree. Okay, so the BSW in social work, we have a school of social work. It's not a department, it's a school of social work. So if you have a student who maybe is interested in social work or interested in, advocacy, social functioning, how to assess families and groups, communities, even working with governmental agencies, being a case manager, child advocacy, this is a good degree for that. This is also a great degree for preparation for students who want to go into law school and politics. We have a lot of students in this degree that go that route as well. So again, in this discipline and profession, it concerns yourself with individuals, families, groups, communities in an effort to enhance social functioning and overall well-being. So roles are included but not limited to, like I said, case manager, counseling service providers, medical social workers, geriatric social workers, advocates, community organizers, social planners, and it prepares students for the beginning professionals as a generalist. So you learn to work in all areas of social work as a generalist, but we do have specific tracks that students can choose if they want to be a school social worker. We also have a geriatric track and one more track that I cannot think of off the top of my head, so I apologize, but I can get back to you. Oh, child welfare. So learning to advocate in your community, be a social planner. We also have students who work in the prison system, medical social workers, community organizers. This is a competitive program. We do only accept students once a year. We really encourage students, if they want to go to the community college first and transfer into ECU, make sure that they're applying for summer admission and not fall admission. Because again, we only accept applications once a year and the deadline is in June, at the end of June. So we want to make sure that those students are able to take a summer class here to establish an ECU GPA and make sure they have their classes that they need so that they can get accepted and not have to wait a whole year to apply. And then once in the program, it's a minimum 2 years. So you have to have a 2.5 GPA. You do submit an application with an essay as well for this degree. And these are some of the classes: general education courses in history, psychology, and sociology. You learn about your social environment, human behavior, social work policy and practice. Your very last semester, you are doing an internship. This is unique because we, in the School of Social Work, we have a whole internship department that works with you on placement based off of what you want to do. So students aren't having to go off and find their own internship. They are going to work with our internship coordinator in this school, and they will help get them placed. So the last department that I'm going to talk about, and I feel like I'm doing pretty good on time, so is the Department of Recreation Sciences. So this is, I also advise for these degrees as well. The BS in Recreation and Park Management, this is what we call our work to play degree or a play to work degree. So this degree is all about making a difference in people's lives through fun, recreation. It can prepare you for diverse people, career opportunities, facilitating healthy, active lifestyles for persons of all ages and abilities. So if you hear students who want to work in the sports field or recreation facilities, or maybe they want to work for a nonprofit, want to work for Special Olympics, doing YMCA, those types of things. Or if you just have a student, they're like, I don't know what I want to do, but I do like to be outdoors. I don't want to be at a desk. I kind of like tourism, sustained adventure tourism, those types of things. This degree is going to be perfect for them. So with this degree, you're learning how to manage employees, plan and promote activities, create budgets, manage risk, and also conduct special events and programs. It's a really broad degree, so it's hard to pinpoint one career or even specific career. So I kind of have it divided up into different areas. If you're interested in commercial recreation and tourism, then this, and what I mean by that is national and international tourism tour companies, resorts, need guides, cruise boats. So think about when you go on a vacation and you want to do any excursion or you want to go hiking. Someone has to plan those, someone has to lead those, and that's where this degree comes in. Also restaurants, hotels, hospitality, festivals, special events, those types of things. The tourism, leisure, recreation park, it's a $1.8 trillion a year industry. So our students are definitely finding jobs. Recreational and sport leadership. Again, if you want to work for we have somebody who works for a lot of parks and recs departments, and they oversee the youth sports and they help plan the youth sports. Or if you have an athlete who's coming back to your hometown and they maybe want to do a sports camp, you need somebody to manage and facilitate that in the community and nonprofit recreation sector. We also have students who are interested in running parks, being a park ranger, doing campus recreation activities like the canoeing or the rock climbing or any type of adventure tourism like that. That's where this fits in. It's also great for students who want to work with youth groups. We do have a class that specifically targets youth development and sports and things like that. Also facilities management. If you want to own a gym or work in a gym or work in any arenas and you're asked to be a facilities manager, this is a perfect degree for that as well. It's not competitive. You just have to have a 2.0 GPA. There is an internship component your last semester that you do. Our students I had a student who interned at Acadia National Park. I've had students who have interned at in Alaska, in Colorado, for different sports teams as well, NASCAR. So it's very broad. And these are sample courses. You learn about community development and recreation. We also have a natural resource component of it if students are interested in coastal resource management, tourism planning and development. We have a lot of fun hands-on classes. We have a domestic study abroad that is being started up where students can go to Alaska. The Great Smoky Mountains Outdoor Field Experience is a class where you learn about outdoor recreation. And then for a whole week, you get to go to Tennessee and camp and meet up with other colleges from across the country. And then I think we're also setting up a class or domestic study abroad to Shenandoah Valley National Park as well. One of our students actually recently went to Qatar to the World Cup and did a little bit there. So that was a really cool experience for him as well. So the last degree I'm going to talk about today is the BS in Recreational Therapy. This is a clinical degree, but it's not as competitive as, say, a nursing degree. So when you have students who maybe want to work in a clinical setting, this is also a great preparatory degree for students who want to go into occupational therapy. Recreational therapy is a systematic process. It utilizes recreation and other active-based interventions to address the needs of individuals who have an illness and or disabling conditions. And it's kind of a means for, psychological, physical health, recovery, and well-being. So treatment services is designed to restore and remediate and rehabilitate a person's level of functioning. So I kind of look at it like a physical therapist may help you, get that knee functioning again or get your back functioning again. And then an occupational therapist is going to help you learn how to do everyday things with that new knee or new back or arm or whatever it may be. Prosthetic if you have one. And then The recreational therapist, we're teaching you how to do fun activities with that degree. So we do a lot with adaptive water sports and a lot with adaptive sports as well. So recreational therapists use activities. You have a lot of different modalities you can use as a form of therapy. So we try to take whatever you're interested in, whether it be sports, whether it be art, music, even horseback riding, to improve positive health outcomes, and try to connect the cognitive, the physical, the spiritual, the emotional, the social functioning of one's health. So just trying to bring it all together. It's a very holistic degree in nature. So careers, our students can work in a variety. It's specifically designed for you to become a licensed recreational therapist, but you can work in a variety of settings. So you can work in hospitals, psychiatric clinics, long-term care facilities, rehabilitation clinics, substance abuse centers. You can work with all ages, service members, seniors, children, adolescents, inpatient and outpatient physical rehabilitation, behavioral health, as nursing and assisted living facilities, adult daycare programs, parks and rec centers, pediatric hospitals. So again, across the board, you can work in a lot of places. We actually have a sailboat lab. That's one of only, I think, 7 in the entire world. And you can see a picture of it right there. The recreational therapist is working with, specifically with people who have spinal cord injuries and teaching them how to sail again and be independent again on the water. So we have a sailboat model, and it actually moves and rocks like an actual sailboat. Students get practice, or clients get practice there. We learn how to adapt the sailboat to their specific needs, and then eventually graduate to on the water, which is really cool. This is a competitive degree, so you do have to apply to the program. It's not super competitive like a nursing degree would be, but there is an application process. So you have, again, we're accredited. You learn to become a licensed recreational therapist in the state of North Carolina, and also a certified therapeutic recreation specialist. There are add-ons, certifications with that as well. So we have a class that we teach that allows students to get an adaptive sport recreation certification. And we also had 100% pass rate on our national certification board just last year, which means the national average is 85%. So students have to, similar to nursing, once you graduate, you have to take a licensure exam to get that licensure added to your name and your BS degree. And we had 100% passing rate for that. Another cool thing that we have is the 4+1 program. So students who qualify and have a certain GPA in either of those RPM or RT degrees, their senior year can start taking graduate level courses. And then upon graduation, it would only take them 1 year to earn their master's degree. So in 5 years, you get your BS, let's say in recreational therapy, and then your master's in recreational therapy administration. And so these are just, I'm really passionate about our degrees. I think they're different. I think they're neat. And they are providing that hands-on experience for students to go out and get careers and get jobs upon graduation. And it's something they love doing. I mean, our students are some of the happiest students I see on campus, really. So I'm going to turn it back over to Matt. Do you want me to keep my slides up?
Yes, if you can.
Okay, perfect. Okay, of course.
Okay, so one really unique thing about our college is that we also oversee Army and Air Force ROTC units. These are great opportunities for students, and this is an opportunity for students at ECU. So they do not just have to be HHP students, which is really cool for us because we get to interact with students that may not necessarily be one of our majors. But at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Major Johnson from Air Force ROTC to talk a little bit about the program, the opportunities it can provide for students, both financially and leadership wise. So yeah, Major Johnson, if you want to take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. Good morning, everyone. As she mentioned, I'm Major Ray Johnson here at ECU 600. We are one of 145 host universities for Air Force ROTC. We not only commission officers for the Air Force, but also the Space Force now that they are under our department. The main scholarship we want to talk about today is for high school seniors, those who already know they would like to enter into the Air Force or Space Force. Your window for the high school scholarship is open right now until December 31st. What is going to comprise your eligibility for this is going to be a 3.0 GPA, an SAT score of 1240, or an ACT score of 26. Like I said, a 3.0 or higher. You'll be required to take our physical fitness assessment, which consists of a 1.5-mile run, 1-minute sit-ups, and 1-minute push-ups. And then from there, you will also go into a medical process to get medically cleared for the Air Force. Essentially, the Air Force is want to make sure that you're not going to be a liability for years to come. So that's the purpose of our medical process. And you also have an interview with a commander from an ROTC detachment. From there, the scholarship will be offered based on what major you would like to have. That might be a technical major or a non-technical major. For example, ECU has a huge nursing program. So if you know you want to be an Air Force nurse, and then that might be the path for you to go into in order to pay for school. You might be asking yourself, what are the critical majors that the Air Force and Space Force are looking for? We're always looking for those STEM majors, right? Science, technology, engineering, and math. Outside of that, there are some critical foreign languages that we are advertising for as well. So Russian, Ukrainian, Japanese, French, for example. And like I said, that window is open for you now. Now, what are you going to get out of this high school scholarship? We're going to get all 4 years paid for. ROTC is traditionally a 4-year program. It can be completed in 3, but again, traditionally in 4 years. It is a very competitive scholarship. You can apply at that website noted on your screen there. And what will be covered? Well, a Type 1 scholarship, if that is offered to you, is uncapped, meaning that it will cover all tuition, regardless of what university you decide to attend. Type 2 means that it will cover up to $18,000 per year. And then that Type 7 scholarship is uncapped if you are considered in-state for the university that you want to attend. Outside of that tuition, you'll have $900 covered per year for books, and then you also receive a stipend up to $500 a month, and it increases as you progress through your college year. So you might be receiving $300 a month as a freshman, and then it'll go up for your succeeding years. If you do not get the opportunity or you are not eligible for a high school scholarship, there are still opportunities for you to pursue if you decide to do ROTC through college. Those are going to be our in-school scholarship, and you'll be eligible to compete for those after we see your first semester of academic performance at your university. Again, it's going to be that same criteria. We're looking at your GPA, your fitness score, how you rank amongst your peers. And really the purpose of ROTC is to set you up for a career after college, right? You'll commission as a second lieutenant in the Air or Space Force. Our mission is to develop leaders for tomorrow's Air or Space Force. So your first 2 years are called your general military course years, and then your second 2 years as a sophomore, or excuse me, as a junior and a senior is your professional officers course. So really, we're looking for ways for you to build upon those leadership skills, problem solving, critical thinking. How do you manage? How do you lead a team? How do you operate as an individual, and how do you operate as a team? And through that time, you'll have opportunities to mingle with other ROTC cadets across the country. If you are not on scholarship, we require you maintain a 2.0 throughout school. If you are on scholarship, you are required to maintain a 2.5 GPA. And like I said, you'll be required to take that physical fitness assessment every semester during your time here. ROTC, there is no special way to sign up for. You'll sign up for our classes just as you would any other course at ECU or whatever university you decide to attend. And that's really the main information I had for you guys. I know I kind of fire hosed you with some information, but if you have any questions at all, do not hesitate to email me at johnsonlar21@ecu.edu or funnel your questions through Ms. Craven as well. I know I went kind of fast, but I hope I gave you guys what you needed.
Awesome. Thank you. Now we're going to turn it over to Mr. Johnson from Army ROTC. So we have two components. We have Army and Air Force. So Mr. Johnson.
Hey, good morning. I'm Mr. Johnson. I'm the Scholarship Program Advisor for the Army ROTC program. I'm retired from the military. I was also a supervisory police officer for the Air Force, so I know both sides of the house. But what we look for is we look for scholar athlete leaders. And if we go to the next slide, we can tell what ROTC is. ROTC is a leadership program. At the end of the day, it's a class and a lab. That's what it is. And we separate it into two courses, basic and advanced course. Basic course, anybody across the campus can take the class. We want you to come in, explore, learn. You're going to learn a lot of neat things, so we want them to do that. But at junior level, it's by invitation only. I have about 155 cadets in the program. We commission somewhere between 30 to 40 each year in all kinds of different fields. Nursing is a big part of it. There's 5 nursing slots that belong to ROTC over at the school. I have about 15 nurses in the program now. Excellent time managers. So we have excellent ways for students to come out of high school, get into a program and learn something that they really want to do. And our job is to commission officers in the Army National Guard, and the Army Reserve. I don't care which one anyone goes into. My job is to find the best path for the students. And I'm not a typical recruiter, and I don't hound anybody. If they want to be here, we're happy to help them. If they don't want to be here, that's fine too. No worries. We also don't send anybody to basic training. It's not a requirement. They come into the program, they take the course. If they like it, they stay. If they don't like it, they don't stay. But we're going to teach them something in a classroom. They're going to do it in our field exercises and training and during our labs. We want to make it challenging yet fun. Our job here is to teach them the 7-step decision-making process that works not only here in the military, but works in any field. So we want them to go out and enjoy things. We want them to experience college life. You know, we have swimmers that are varsity swimmers in our program. So we get varsity sports into our program. So we want everybody to enjoy things. But if you notice down at the bottom in the red, it says merit-based student-led program. At the end of the day, it's all about the student. It's what the student provides. And we look for scholar, which is good grades. SATs, ACTs. We look for athletics. They don't have to be Wonder Woman or Superman. They just got to be willing to progress. We don't do anything alone in the Army. We always work as a team. So we want them to all succeed. And then we look for, what are they doing in the community? Are they going out there and helping out, or are they just going home playing Xbox and sitting on TikToks? So that's what we look at when we look at scholarship. And at the end of the day, it's also a student-led program. Our juniors and seniors run the program. We as teachers and instructors, we guide, we mentor and train, but we got to let them make choices and make mistakes. You know, we have Project Go, which is kind of our study abroad program. We don't care what degrees they take. They can take any degree they want to. We just got to have a plan. And that's what we want them to do, is have a plan. So if we go to the next slide, we have our scholarship opportunities. The high school scholarship is open right now. We have 4-year and 3-year high school scholarships that come out of the high schools. And I encourage you to apply for them. If you have students, have them apply for them, and apply for all of them. Don't just apply for the Army. You apply for the Air Force, you apply for the Navy. If you're going to do one, do them all. It's easier to turn it down than to get accepted. So we want our high school students to check it out. And we bring up junior ROTC high students, or anybody that wants to come up into our program and check it out here on campus. Every Friday, we have that available to high schools, that they can come up and check out the program. But we have 4-year federal and then 3-year federal. But once they get on campus, if they didn't get a scholarship, I have the ability to give scholarships. On a regular basis, I give out 3-year campus-based scholarships. We also have 2-year scholarships. We pay full tuition and fees. They get $1,200 a year for books annually. And once they contract with us, they get $420 a month stipend each month while they're academically in school. If they don't need a tuition scholarship, we can also change it to a room and board scholarship. So we have a lot of opportunities for them. And really the first 2 years is, if they like it, stay. If they don't like it, don't stay. We want them to come out. We want them to come out and enjoy things, experience the whole campus environment. There's no pressure to do it. It's just a class, but they're going to get a lot out of it. And they're going to be able to set their future, and that's what we want them to do. We also have reserve force duty scholarships. If they want to stay in the Guard or Reserve, they can do that. Hopefully you have information out there on what we call the Minuteman Scholarship, which is out there. There's a lot of money available for good students. Just like in the Air Force, you know, the GPAs and all that, the minimums and maximum, the minimums are all set by Congress. They're not set by the Army or the Air Force. They're set by legislation up higher. So 2.5 is the minimum for a GPA, but I'll be honest, we'll hardly ever get a scholarship at 2.5 GPA. They're going to need to be around a 3. But if they give me something to work with, I can usually find money for them. And that's the benefit of having such a big program. And ECU is phenomenal in their support. So when they come up here, you're going to know that they're going to get very good care, not only from us, but from ECU. So let's go to the next slide. And if you all have any questions, I actually would love to show you a little video. If you click on that Pirate Battalion thing, that brings up a nice little video about ECU. It may not let you in this setting, but there is a nice video that ECU puts out, so it's not going to let you do it. But that's okay. If you have any questions, you can feel free to call me, email me. I'm available to answer any type of questions that you have. We love to have the students, and we want them to be successful, and we want everybody to get somewhere they want to go in life. If you have any questions, I'm always available. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
Awesome, thank you. So just as a little refresher, these programs are open to students across ECU. So they will have their major, and then their minor would essentially be military science. So yeah, that's a great opportunity for students that we encourage you guys to explore. So Kelly, if you want to go to the next slide.
I'm trying. Hold on. This always happens to me. Okay.
Okay, awesome. So really quickly, I wanted to talk to you guys about just HHP as a whole. So we really pride ourselves on experiential learning. You guys heard from Ms. Deal that we have a lot of internship components. Almost all of our majors, as you heard, require some sort of internship, practicum, or even research experience. And the reason why we require that is because we see that these experiences lead to job offers, right? We have a lot of students who go into their internship and then leave their site with an offer for full-time employment, which is what we want, right? That's, you know, why they come to college. Another aspect of the internship is that we don't just throw them out there and tell them to swim, right? So we have a pre-internship class where they are networking, providing professional meal experiences, how to work a room at a networking event, learning from industry professionals to essentially set them up, even resume and cover letter review to help them succeed in their internship and in their full-time employment afterwards. Research is a huge thing for HHP. We have over, I think, $9 million in grants currently. Wherever students decide to pursue their academic career at, I would encourage them to get involved in research early, especially if you want to go into those kind of pre-professional health degrees or anything that needs a postgraduate degree, undergraduate degree. So if they want to go to grad school, med school, whatever it may be, get them involved early. That is the biggest piece of advice I can provide. In all of our areas, we have research opportunities and labs. This is just a small list of the opportunities that provide that hands-on experience. What I always tell students is if, hey, you have an idea and maybe nobody's researching it currently, find someone in your field who has a similar interest and then pitch it to them, and they're going to help you. They're going to say, yes, let's go. Like, we need to do this, whatever it may be. So perfect example, we have a student ambassador who is a cheerleader, and he is really kind of interested in strength and conditioning and sports psychology, right? And he was like, hey, I'm noticing like efficacy between partners. So cheer stunts, you know, that's a lot of movement and a lot of trust that has to be had between cheer partners in order to execute a stunt correctly. So what he did is he said, oh, you know what, we have a lab here on campus that tracks your eye movements, and that can predict your efficacy or trust between a partner. So what he went to a sports psychologist that we have here on staff and said, hey, I want to do this, but we need to use this lab. And they said, awesome, we're going to do it. So he has been doing this research project the entire semester as part of course credit to get that hands-on experience. And so we're really excited to see the results of that and see how he uses that in his future career. So another thing about research and labs and student involvement, we have faculty who want to mentor students. They want to be involved with our students. And a lot of what's happening right now is that they are writing students into their grants. So they apply for these grants from federal levels, national levels, corporate organizations, whatever it may be, and they're writing in students. So student support for payment, maybe it's student support to take them to conferences to research, to present their research that they've had. We just had 9 students go to Boston from social work, from human development and family science, and from health education and promotion, all went on this grant to the National Public Health Association's conference in Boston for about a week. And they were presenting to industry professionals at 18, 19, 20 years old. So it's a really cool experience for them. Again, networking opportunities. It's always who you know, not necessarily what you know, but what you know is a big part of it. So we encourage students to get involved early, get involved in research, whatever it may be. So these are just some of the labs, again, small list for both Army and Air Force. We have simulators. So we have a flight simulator. I don't recommend it if you get motion sick because it can be a little, it's so real life, it's unreal.
I almost landed the plane without crashing. I was this close. I crashed on my
yeah. So again, we have resources for students across the board. You want to go to the next slide, Kelly, if you don't mind. So another big component that we like to talk about is study abroad. So there's kind of 2 opportunities for students to do study abroad. There's study abroad for course credit, where you're going with your professors that you typically have in class, and you're going to a wherever they may be going that semester or that summer, and you're getting course credit. The one cool thing about that is that if you have out-of-state students is that they get in-state tuition. So there's study abroad specific scholarships that they can apply for, where they are able to go and get the same education experience as the same cost as the in-state student. And then there's the other option where it's like, hey, I know I really want to go to Ireland, and maybe my program isn't doing anything related to Ireland at that time, whatever it may be. So they can go with a different department. So they have 2 different types of study abroad. They have major specific, where it's basically people from your cohort, and then you have other opportunities for general education. All of them provide course credit. So I am a undergrad, or I graduated from ECU. And so I went to Ireland and England. I knocked out 6 credits, which is like half a semester full time, in about 15 days. So not much more you can get from that, but it's a super cool experience. We went with a group from Texas A&M. And so we have those connections from that university. And so it's really cool experience, and highly encourage it. And if a student wants to go, we're going to find a way to make it happen, right? So want to go to the next slide?
Yes, I was going to say we do have scholarships available if students want to study abroad through different areas, whether it be through our college or even through the study abroad office. So we encourage students to study abroad. We want them to. So we're, like Max said, we're going to make that happen if a student is interested, but maybe there's a financial barrier there as well.
So yeah, again, just some benefits of study abroad. We kind of already hit on this. So this is this top right picture is from Australia. So that would have been probably some sports study students. And then the picture on the left, I don't know where they're at in this picture, but that's probably a human development family science cohort going. So really quickly, we're going to kind of talk on admissions and transfer. We do accept transfer credits. I'll let Kelly talk about that in a moment. But one big thing that we wanted to mention to you guys, if you don't know about it already, is this, it's a new program. It's called Pirate Promise. And so maybe you have a student who wants to get their feet wet with college experience first, and they want to save some money and go to a community college first. This is an opportunity for them. If they get an associate's degree from their community college, they have automatic admission to ECU. So there's a full list on that website where you can see the associate's degree that they accept for the program. And then we also have honors college. A lot of that is merit-based. ECU, when a student applies to ECU will let them know that they're eligible for honors college. I believe there is a supplemental education application, and typically around February is when they get noticed of what level of honors college they're at. So EC Scholars is the highest highest honor that you can get in the honors college, and that is like a full ride. You get to they pay for Italy abroad for a semester. So there's a couple of different levels of honors college, and February is when they receive that kind of notice of, hey, this is the level you've received in financial aid for that. Kelly, do you want to talk about transfer credits really quick?
Yes, I can talk about transfer credit. So we are seeing an increase of students coming in with dual enrollment or early college credits, whatever it may be, which is great. But we just, it's depending on what they want to do. We have students who think, okay, I've done 2 years at the community college, I only have 2 years left. But as you remember, there are certain programs where it may be 3 years, or they still have to do the 4 years. So we encourage them to reach out to us if they are doing that, to make sure they're taking the appropriate courses for their degree, whatever it may be. So, for example, if you need to take a math in your dual enrollment or early college credits, we prefer that it be college algebra. We've seen some students take a lower level math, which is like MAT 143. We like 171 or higher, because a lot of our majors and a lot of the science courses require college algebra specifically as a prereq. So it's just little things like that that we can help with to make sure that they're on the right track and not, setting themselves up to be behind. For transfer credits, you also have to have a grade of C or higher in order for the class to actually transfer to ECU and for you to get credit for the class. So C minus or lower, unfortunately, they won't get credit for that class, but C or higher, they will. It'll go toward their degree, whether it be general education or electives, to reach 120 credit hours overall that you need to graduate. And then they also need to send official transcripts to get credit from that specific community college. So we can't accept college level transcripts off their high school transcripts. So even though I can see it, oh, they made they took MAT 171 or ENG 111, we cannot accept that off the high school transcript. We have to have the actual official transcript from that community college. And I think now we're going to open it up to questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see everybody. And we also have some students coming on as well, hopefully in a few minutes, to talk to you about, we're a little ahead of schedule, which is good. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up to questions from you guys. We want to know what you're hearing from students, what we can help answer to help you. You're kind of like the middleman between us and the students. So feel free to drop it in the chat or unmute yourselves. We're happy to answer anything.
I was supposed to have one student or two join us, but they're also in the midst of finals and I haven't heard from them. So I'm not 100% sure if they'll able to join us, but we do have ambassadors, what we call HHP ambassadors. So if you have any students who are interested in the degree, please feel free to reach out to me. I can connect them with the students because they are more than willing to share their experience, what they've learned in their college process. They also have a Instagram account that's student run, so students can, or prospective students can send them questions through the Instagram account and somebody will answer them for you. So we have a student, at least one student representative from each of the departments. So that's always really cool for them to share their experience. But again, one of them's in finals, so I'm not 100% sure if they're gonna make it, but
we had a student who did her internship in South Africa this past summer, which was really cool to hear about. So we did have a question. It says, for the HHP living and learning community, when should they apply? So if you're not familiar with that term, a living learning community is something that students can apply to, and they live in a group in a specific area on campus that's been cordoned off, or a specific residence hall on campus that's been reserved specifically for them. Typically, they take classes together and do social events together, and it's just a great way to kind of meet other people in similar majors as you, and to kind of already have like a built-in friend group. So we don't have an HHP specific living learning community. We do have a kinesiology majors living learning community. So for students interested in XPhys, sports studies, physical education, or health and fitness specialists, they can go ahead and apply to that. I don't know when the deadline is off the top of my head, but I don't think it's till later. April 1st is the deadline for students to actually apply to ECU to be accepted for the fall. So it's likely going to be sometime, the deadline's probably around that, and then they'll accept students. They have a rolling acceptance. So the earlier you can get it in, the better, because then you'll know based off of that rolling acceptance. And I think ROTC, it's not, the military science programs are trying to get a living learning community started as well, but that will not probably be until 2024.
One other thing to share with you guys, I will say ECU probably prides itself on kind of cost of attendance. So out of the larger universities in North Carolina, ECU is slightly cheaper because we want students to get the best bang for their buck, right? But we know that financial situations can impact a student's decision to go to a university in whatever way. Over 60% of our student body receives some sort of financial aid. So there's FAFSA, which is open now, so encourage your students to apply. I think there's like a March 1 deadline of like, hey, your university is going to want to know like what kind of financial aid you're bringing in. And then we also have ECU and HHP specific scholarships. The one thing about that is that they do need an ECU established GPA for at least the HHP ones. And so those students after their fall semester can apply for those. And then like the deadline's January 15th, around there. Another thing, study abroad scholarships. We have an awesome donor base who, is focused on student success and making impact. So Kelly mentioned that we're taking students to the Super Bowl in the spring, which we're super excited about. And we have a donor who is kind of helping us split costs to make sure the students have the opportunity to go. So that's always really cool to see. But there's also work study opportunities for students. So they get paid to work on campus in different areas. There's traditional student employment as well, where it's an opportunity for students to apply to a job on campus, and it's built around their class schedule because like we know they're students first. So, they may have some weird hours, but they're getting their hours in, they're getting paid, but it's built around their class schedule. And the employees are pretty, lenient. Like right now it's finals time. So like, hey, can't come in, totally fine. You're a student first. And then, like I mentioned earlier, there are grants and assistantships that professors will write into the grant, hey, we're going to pay this student X amount of dollars over a course of a semester to cover living expenses or travel expenses or whatever it may be. So our faculty are trying to look out for our students as well.
And I would just say encourage your students to check their emails, and not just, auto delete everything that can look possibly like spam, because we're actually, if students have applied, we're already communicating with them. Obviously, we're communicating with you. We are going to do some more virtual sessions next semester, but specifically for students based on department. So it won't be a long one like this. It'll be a little bit shorter and condensed, and we'll have faculty and students on there. So we would love for you, if you get those emails, please share them with your students, because it's an easy way for them to, learn more about our majors to see if it's something they would be interested in before even coming to campus. So we're going to get those dates out to you soon. I'm working on those now.
We'll also have HHP Admitted Students Day in February. So I think that date is like February 17th, where students who are specific to HHP, who have been admitted to the university, they will get the chance to come to campus. It's smaller, it's more community-based versus like the larger university one, which the larger university one is March 25th. 2023. Can't believe we're already saying that. So all those labs that we talked about today, at HHP Admitted Students Day, students will get to see those, which is really cool because those aren't something you usually see on typical tours and whatnot. So.
And thank you guys for taking time out of your day to attend. I know it's kind of a super busy time getting at the end of the semester. We are hoping to do an in-person event for high school counselors next semester. So actually hoping to bring you guys in to ECU if you're interested to see some of those labs hands-on, take some videos, take some pictures to bring back with your students, and just actually, see the campus. So thank you all for coming. We're going to hang out here for a little bit in case you want to talk more one-on-one with us and have questions. We're going to send you this recording, so please share with your colleagues, and even non-high school counselors who you think may be interested in some of our majors. Some of those Health Science Academy instructors or your ROTC instructors. So, we're happy to answer any questions. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us, or have your students reach out to us as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.